The Galactic Council chambers fell silent as the emergency broadcast flickered across every holographic display. Ambassador Vexthar of the Krell hegemony felt his 3 hearts skip in synchronized dread. The message was simple, transmitted in every known language of the civilized galaxy. Terran diplomatic vessel, Unbroken, will requesting docking permissions at Council Station Omega-7. Estimated arrival, 14 standard hours. Diplomatic vessel, High Chancellor Morvith whispered, her crystalline features refracting the light into anxious patterns. They call it diplomatic. Vexthar understood her fear. Every species in the chamber understood. The humans had been silent for 73 standard years, ever since the incident at Proxima Reach, where the Zathran Armada had glassed 3 of their colony worlds in what they'd called a proportionate response to human expansion into contested space. The galaxy had expected retaliation. The humans were known to be warlike, aggressive, territorial. Every psychological profile confirmed it. Every historical record from their home world told tales of endless conflict, of weapons that could crack continents, of a species that had nearly destroyed itself a dozen times before reaching the stars. But the humans had done something no one predicted. They had gone silent. 73 years, not a single ship beyond their borders, not one transmission. Their colonies went dark, their trade routes abandoned. The jump gates they'd been constructing simply stopped mid-construction, left floating like metal tombstones in the void. The galaxy had celebrated. The dangerous upstarts had been contained, taught their place. The Zathran in particular had been insufferable, boasting of their decisive victory over the soft mammals. Now a ship was coming. "We should refuse docking," Counselor Threnak hissed, his reptilian frills flaring red with agitation. "This is clearly a prelude to attack. The humans are vengeful creatures." "And if we refuse?" Ambassador Quillix of the Sarin Collective asked, her 4 eyes blinking in nervous succession. "Then we confirm we are hostile. We give them justification." Vexthar studied the tactical display. The Terran ship was still 12 light-years out, but the sensors had already painted a picture. It was massive, nearly 4 kilometers long, dwarfing even the Krell's mightiest dreadnoughts. The hull configuration was unlike anything in the galactic database, angular and brutal, covered in what appeared to be reactive armor plating. But what troubled him most was the energy signature. The readings were impossible. The ship's power output exceeded anything the Council's best scientists had theorized as feasible. It was as if the humans had cracked open a star and somehow contained it within their hull. 73 years, Vexthar said aloud. What were they doing for 73 years? The High Chancellor made the only decision she could. Grant them docking permission. Activate all defensive platforms, but do not target their ship. We will meet them as the civilized species we claim to be. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the Unbroken Will, watching the Council station grow larger in the main viewport. Behind her, the crew worked in quiet efficiency. No shouting, no drama, just the smooth operation of people who knew their roles perfectly. "Status?" she asked her XO. Commander James Rodriguez checked his display. All systems nominal, defensive screens at standby, weapons systems locked but ready. The Council has granted docking permission, but they've activated every weapons platform in the sector. We're being painted by at least 400 targeting solutions. Sarah smiled slightly. "Only 400, I expected more." "They're scared," her chief science officer, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, said from her station. "We've been monitoring their communications. The entire galaxy is holding its breath." "Good," Sarah said. "Fear keeps people honest." She moved to her command chair but didn't sit. Sitting felt wrong for this moment. This was the moment humanity had been working toward for 73 years. Every sacrifice, every innovation, every sleepless night in the shipyards of Mars and Titan, every theoretical physicist who'd gone mad trying to crack the equations. It all led here. "Captain," her tactical officer called out. "The Zathran have 6 battle cruisers in orbit around the station. They're trying to look casual about it." Sarah's jaw tightened. The Zathran, the species that had murdered 18 million human colonists. Men, women, children vaporized from orbit in a single afternoon. The galaxy had shrugged. Collateral damage in a border dispute. The price of expansion. Humanity had learned something that day. The galaxy didn't operate on justice or fairness or any of the high-minded ideals the Council pretended to uphold. The galaxy operated on power, on the implicit threat of violence, on the understanding that some species could act with impunity while others couldn't. For 73 years, humanity had been silent, but silence didn't mean acceptance. Silence meant preparation. "Let them watch," Sarah said. "In fact, let's give them something to watch. Helm, I want a demonstration. Execute maneuver sequence Prometheus 7. "Aye, Captain, executing Prometheus 7. The Unbroken will shuddered as the new drive systems engaged. What happened next would be recorded and analyzed by every military in the galaxy for decades to come. The 4-kilometer warship simply disappeared from one point in space and reappeared 20,000 kilometers away, instantaneously, with no jump gate, no visible energy buildup, no warning. Then it did it again, and again. The massive warship began dancing around the Council station like a fighter craft, blinking in and out of existence, each jump precise to the centimeter. On the Council station, every alarm screamed. Defensive platforms swiveled uselessly, unable to track a target that could teleport. The Zathran battle cruisers scattered in panic, their proud formation breaking apart like children fleeing a nightmare. Sarah watched the chaos on the tactical display. "That's enough. Bring us to dock, standard approach." The Unbroken will materialize directly in front of the designated docking port, perfectly aligned, moving at exactly the right velocity. It was a statement. We can appear anywhere at any time with perfect precision. Your weapons can't track us. Your ships can't outrun us. We are beyond you. Ambassador Vexthar stood in the docking bay, trying to control his breathing. Around him, the Council's security forces stood in formation, their weapons held in parade rest. Though he could see the fear in their eyes, every species represented, every warrior suddenly feeling very small. The docking clamps engaged with a heavy thud that resonated through the deck. Steam hissed from the airlock seals, and then, with hydraulic precision, the door opened. Captain Sarah Chen stepped through, flanked by 2 Marines in powered armor that made them look like walking tanks. She was shorter than Vexthar expected. Humans were a small species by galactic standards, but she moved with absolute confidence. Her uniform was immaculate, her bearing military perfect. She stopped 3 meters from the Council delegation and offered a formal bow. "Ambassador Vexthar, High Chancellor Morvith, on behalf of the Terran Alliance, I bring greetings and a message from our government." Her voice was calm, professional, utterly devoid of threat. Somehow that made her more terrifying. "Welcome, Captain Chen," High Chancellor Morvith managed, her crystalline voice trembling slightly. "The Council is eager to hear Terra's message." 73 years ago, Sarah began, her voice carrying clearly through the bay, the Zathran Armada destroyed 3 of our colony worlds. 18 million human beings died. We appealed to this council for justice. We were told it was an unfortunate incident in a border dispute. We were advised to be more careful about our expansion. The silence was absolute. No one moved. We were new to the galaxy. We didn't understand the rules. We thought the council stood for something. We were wrong. Sarah's eyes swept across the assembled ambassadors. "So we went home, and we learned." She gestured back toward the Unbroken Will. "What you just witnessed was our new spatial displacement drive. We call it the Alcubierre Tanaka engine after the scientists who made it possible. We can now move our ships anywhere within 15 light-years instantaneously. No jump gates, no predictable routes, anywhere, anytime. Vexthar felt his heart sink. The implications were staggering. Every defensive strategy in the galaxy was built around controlling jump gates. Humanity had just made them obsolete. Furthermore, Sarah continued, our weapons have advanced proportionally. The Unbroken will carries what we call Nova Lances, directed plasma weapons powered by contained fusion reactions. Each lance can deliver the destructive equivalent of a stellar flare. We have 64 of them. She paused, letting that sink in. 64 weapons, each capable of scorching a planet's surface clean, mounted on a ship that could appear anywhere without warning. But, Sarah said, and for the first time, a slight smile touched her lips, we did not spend 73 years becoming monsters. We spent 73 years becoming strong enough that we never have to be. She pulled out a data tablet and handed it to Chancellor Morvith. This contains the Terran proposal for galactic reform. We are not declaring war. We are not seeking revenge. We are demanding change. What kind of change? Vexthar asked, finding his voice. Real justice, real peacekeeping, real consequences for species who commit atrocities. Sarah's eyes found the Zathran ambassador in the crowd. The Zathran owe humanity reparations for Proxima Reach. They will pay, or they will face economic sanctions enforced by the Terran fleet. We are not asking the Council's permission. We are informing you of our decision. You cannot enforce your will on sovereign species, the Zathran ambassador roared, stepping forward. The Council will never allow. The Council, Sarah interrupted, her voice suddenly cold as space itself, will do exactly nothing. Because you know what we know now, that your laws only apply to those too weak to ignore them. Well, humanity is no longer weak. She turned back to Chancellor Morvith. We're not leaving the galactic community, we're reforming it. Species who want to participate in genuine cooperation, genuine peace, genuine justice, we welcome you as partners. We'll share our technology, we'll defend you from aggressors, we'll build a better galaxy together. And those who refuse, Vexthar asked quietly. Sarah met his eyes. Will be left to their own devices. No trade with Terran partners. No access to Terran jump gates. No Terran protection. You'll be on your own in a galaxy that just became much more dangerous because now everyone knows that overwhelming power is achievable. How long before others replicate what we've done? The brilliance of it struck Vexthar like a physical blow. Humanity wasn't threatening war. They were offering protection from the chaos they themselves had introduced. They were forcing the galaxy to choose reform or obsolescence. The Terran proposal includes provisions for a reformed galactic court with actual enforcement mechanisms, Sarah continued. It includes protections for colony worlds and civilian populations. It includes mandatory arbitration for border disputes. And yes, it includes humans in leadership positions because we've earned that right through our sacrifice and our strength. She looked around the assembled ambassadors one final time. 73 years ago, the galaxy taught us that idealism without power is meaningless. Today, we're teaching the galaxy that power without justice is barbarism. We're offering you a choice, evolve or be left behind. With that, Captain Sarah Chen executed a perfect about-face and walked back toward her ship. Her Marines followed, their powered armor servos humming in the silence. As the airlock sealed behind them, Ambassador Vexthar turned to High Chancellor Morvith. What do we do? The Chancellor's crystalline features reflected the light in new patterns, patterns that Vexthar, after 3 decades of diplomatic service, recognized as contemplation and perhaps hope. We read their proposal, she said softly, and then, I suspect, we negotiate the future they've just forced upon us. Outside, through the viewports, the Unbroken will hung in space like a steel promise or threat. The message was clear. Humanity had returned to the galactic stage. And this time they were setting the rules. In his quarters aboard the Zathran flagship, Admiral Crester watched the Terran Warship and felt something his species rarely experienced: fear. Not the fear of battle, but the fear of obsolescence. The galaxy had changed in a single day. The humans had been silent for 73 years. The galaxy should have wondered what they were saying to each other. And